Hello, I'm Elif and this is a recap for episode 42 of the series Golden Boy, 24 hours after Turkey and before dubbed for TV. When Farid sees Kaya and Seyran, he is shocked and steps back. He turns to Seyran and says, "I wanted to surprise you, but you surprised me instead." "Thank you." He leaves with disappointment, and Seyran follows him, saying, "Farid, I just want you to know I really skipped studying last night because of you." Farid replies, "I saw. Was it just a one-night sacrifice? What are you explaining to me?" He gets into his car and shouts, "I can never trust anyone," and cries bitterly. On the other side, Nokhat, who has seen Orhan and Dejla together, asks Orhan to talk. Orhan tells her he heard Dejla was sick and had come to visit her. Nokhat says, "I'm sorry, but just because I showed up, you had to back off. What would you have done before me?" Orhan goes away angrily. As soon as Farid arrives home, he goes to his grandfather's room and explains everything. Nokhat apologizes to him on behalf of Kaya, but it's not enough for Farid. He says, "If your son interferes in our relationship again, you're leaving this house." Khali's Khan warns Farid to control himself. Pelin is in the hospital, and her mother is with her, asking, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Pelin says, "I feel stronger than ever. After the things that happened to me, nothing is difficult." Aceman asks Kozim for permission to take Sona to the club with her, but Kozim condescendingly tells Sona, "Did you think Seyran would allow you to go to the club against the mansion's customs and traditions? Who do you think you are?" Efegat, who overhears his words, calls Sona to her room and says, "You know I had chosen you to be the lady of this house, but it didn't work out. But now, if you marry Kaya, you'll become the mistress of the house. If you bear Khali's Khan's first grandchild, you'll be the apple of his eye." Efegat imagines the future that awaits Sona with this event and tells her, "We're pragmatic. Haven't you ever thought to yourself, I wish I were in Seyran's place?" Sona wants to leave in anger, but Efegat continues her words, saying, "Kaya likes you. He asked me about you. Think about it." Seyran enters the house with Kaya, and when Kozim realizes Seyran has enrolled in university, he angrily shouts at her, "What are these ridiculous games?" Farid arrives and stands in front of Kozim, saying, "I registered her. Stay out of it. I don't want to hear your voice raised at Seyran again." When Farid and Seyran go to their room, Seyran thanks Farid for his support. Farid is still upset, and Seyran apologizes to him, saying she was afraid she would miss the chance to go to university. Farid gradually softens. Nokhat drags Kaya to a room, her tone and behavior changed. She says, "What are you doing? Didn't we agree on this? Is this how you plan to settle the score? Because of these things, my mother suffered. Your father left us because of these things." Kaya cries, and Nokhat says, "You can't play games with fire." Kaya replies, "You do your thing, and I'll do mine." Kaya goes to Efegat's room for advice. Efegat tells him, "I consider you and Sona the most important people in the mansion and Khali's Khan's heirs. Farid can't provide Khali's Khan with a grandchild. If you hurry, you can bring that grandchild. You and Sona." Sultan goes to Farid and Seyran's room for something, and when she sees Farid coming out of the shower, she stares at him. When Farid comes out, Sultan is startled, and her legs give way. Farid scolds her, and Sultan says, "I miss you so much." At that moment, Seyran enters, becomes angry at seeing Sultan, and after a lot of taunting, she kicks her out. Sultan, full of resentment, says as she leaves, "I'll show you." A little later, Farid confronts Sultan and threatens her, telling her to stay away from him and Seyran. Sultan replies, "I can't bear staying away from you anymore." Farid says, "If you can't, then leave." Kozim approaches Seyran and says, "Who do you think you are? Do you think Farid doesn't deserve a daughter? He desires one. Have you ever thought about the Kotkahans? Do you think they will accept you without bearing a child for them?" He grabs Seyran's hand and squeezes it, and Nokhat intervenes. Kozim tells her, "Go to your son, his father is unknown to everyone." Sona insists on inviting Kaya to her university party and goes to invite him herself. Kaya approaches Sona and says, "You're like a mermaid, gentle and kind. You can't hurt anyone." Sona blushes, remembering what Efegat told her, "Sona likes you." Nokhat goes to see Zarin and laughs, saying, "I've won everyone's trust, especially Khali's Khan's. You have to see me. I've become an angel, kind and caring." Zarin replies, "You deserve it." Nokhat angrily says, "They didn't let us come to Turkey. They never bothered to contact us. Now they've called and ordered us to come. we're coming. I won't spare them if they bring any trouble upon us. This time, we'll win. Shortly after, Pelin joins them and suggests that tonight might be the right time. Knockhat returns to the mansion and, after taking a pill, smiles at herself in the mirror. With a calm and gentle tone, she practices her polite words. Knockhat informs Sultan that she saw Orhan at her house with Dejler. Sultan angrily rushes to the house and scolds Dejler, saying she will go to her grandfather's house. Dejler replies, "My mom doesn't want to go." Left alone, Dejler calls Orhan in tears, asking him to come see her. Orhan, understanding the situation, reassures her, wiping away her tears. Meanwhile, Sona contemplates Efegat's words while imagining a romantic evening with Kaya. Farid, Seyran, Sona, Kaya, and Aceman get ready to go out. Sultan goes downstairs to slip abortion pills into Seyran's coffee, but Seyran unexpectedly enters the kitchen and catches her. Seyran snatches the pills from Sultan, realizing they are contraceptives, and shouts, "How dare you do something like this?" Farid rushes down upon hearing the commotion and, upon understanding the situation, asks, "Did you do this?" Sultan confirms angrily, saying, "Let me tell you why I did it." Farid becomes terrified. Seyran demands Sultan to speak, but Farid holds her back to escort Sultan out. The others join them. Sultan says, "I did this to separate you two. You don't deserve this place." At that moment, Efegat enters and immediately grabs Sultan by the collar, taking her to a room. Seyran attempts to stop him to understand the truth, but she can't. In the room, Efegat scolds Sultan and hands her over to Latif. Farid enters the room and asks Efegat, "Did you have a hand in this?" Efegat replies, "Let's assume I did." "What will you do?" "Don't push this matter further, you'll lose." "If Sultan says she had a relationship with you, what will you do?" Farid is stunned, and Efegat reveals the details of Farid's and Sultan's relationship. Farid, teary-eyed, asks, "Did you send Sultan into my room?" Efegat replies, "I couldn't let your first relationship happen without my knowledge. I thought about it." Farid stares at Efegat in disbelief, and Efegat continues, "Now go, calm down your wife, or else she'll find out the truth. I'll do what needs to be done." Hearing Seyran's cries, Kozim enters the room and attacks her. Sona tries to defend her father, saying, "He didn't do anything, Dad. Sultan was giving her drugs to prevent pregnancy." Kozim shouts in anger. Farid, standing in a corner with a sense of melancholy, is approached by Badin, who says, "We need to go outside. It's very important." Outside the house, Farid notices Pelin with her hand on her stomach. She's pregnant. Farid is shocked. He asks, "Is it mine?" Pelin confirms. She urges Farid to sit and confesses, "I didn't want to tell you, but I got scared. Everyone says I can handle this alone, but I needed to hear it from you. I don't want anything from you." Farid reassures her, saying, "It's obvious you can. No problem will arise. I'm here for you." Pelin hugs Farid tightly before saying goodbye. Before leaving, Farid asks her, "A boy or a girl?" Pelin replies, "A boy." Farid smiles. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for the next episode.